back up in the back. Let's get into it. Let's get
Mm-hmm.
into it.
Get into Herschel Walker.
Let's get
Yeah,
into
so that's what I
America.
wanted to get into. Yeah, that's what I
Let's
wanted
get
to get
into it.
into.
Wait a minute. Let's hear the real, because sometimes he be coming. Sometimes my man comes real. Sometimes my man be coming on the left side. I had to spank
I hear
him.
you. Hey,
But
much
I got to
respect. It's
find
all
out if
good.
I got to spank him today. All right, come
It's all
on.
good. It's
Real,
all
I
good.
got to
So,
spank you today or what? Come on, tell me what
no,
you
man,
got.
listen. Let me see. I'm gonna try to do the best that I can. So bear with me.
Okay, don't make me spank you.
So okay, all right, fair enough. So, to be honest with you, like I said, I see you have sort of Herschel Walker in the background here. I know recently there's a runoff between Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock. I think Raphael barely got the win, and I think the votes were really close. I think it was within 100,000 votes. Um, my thing is that with Herschel Walker, I'm not sure what to make of him. Here's why I say this, because
Okay.
I know his background. Like I said, of course, he UFC fighter, actually former NFL player, and he's recently entered the political arena, and so which is not it's not a very easy transition to make at all. And so, with that being said, I think because I saw some debates, I think there are certain things as far as policies that he wasn't really able to articulate as well. But however, I for me, like I said, it's sort of an iffy situation. I think he just, he almost won. He was pretty close to winning. He had a lot of support behind him, but I think
White people.
ultimately, yes, yeah. He, like I said, it was only within 100,000 votes. I think Herschel got 1.7 million votes, and I think Raphael got 1.8 million, something like that.
Right.
But as far as policies, I didn't hear anything clearly articulated by him that would suggest anything in regards to policy. Now, with Raphael Warnock, I know definitely he's definitely pro LGBT, pro choice, and he has a very huge amount support from, I think Jamal Bryant was one of his biggest supporters, which
Jamal the
now,
cheater. Jamal the cheater Bryant.
yes, and Jamal, he, along with, and this is sort of the issue that I have with the church in general. They pretty much have sold. They have sold out a long time ago, because
Okay, hold on. Let me
they.
stop you right there. I'm gonna let you continue. But let me ask
Okay,
y'all a
go ahead.
question. Since we're on the church, I don't want this to get too far off and then I have to come back to
Okay,
it.
no
Since we're
problem.
on the church, and since you said Warnock supports the LGBTQ community, now in your
Yeah.
opinion, this is your opinion, because I seen a Jew who was queer, and I said, "You're not a Jew because that's not in the Torah. That's not part of the Torah. You can't be homo. The Torah is the most homophobic part of the Bible. You can't lie. You can't deny that. The Torah is the most homophobic part of the Bible. So, do
Can I
you
get an
believe,
amen?
in your opinion, can LGBTQ, with according to the Bible, this is what you
Mhm.
got to base it on, not according to what you believe, but the Bible, because that's supposed to be the spiritual guide of these
The
of all religions.
law.
Can they be Christian or Jew? We know they can't be Muslims because can they be Christians or Jews? In your opinions,
Oh, okay. So that's a very good question. So you because ultimately, if you're talking about Jew, what is that? This is a person who uh, adheres to the Torah and the Tanakh. You
right?
see, and then, so with that being said, the Torah is very explicit when it comes to God's commandments, as far as what He deems to be sinful and or not. And so, with that being said, it's difficult for one to call themselves a follower of God and a Jew, being a descendant of Judah, King David, and Christ, and not adhere to the Torah. You get what I'm saying? So it's however, people may disagree with you or myself, but people may say, okay, there's ethnically and then there's religiously, but like I said, I it's a very good question. I asked the very same question, like, how can you follow the Torah? The Torah says one thing, but then you do something that's
Because
opposed to what the Torah
religion is
says.
used as a shield to get the masses convinced that these non-religious people are on their side. Quit fucking falling back on your religion. And then when you think about it, okay, you take any fucking religion that was of the ancient time. They believed in their gods would come and save them, but that still didn't stop the fucking calamity and the desolation and the destruction of their world. Let's get real. Quit putting religion out there. Quit putting your religious
Okay,
books out
okay.
there, and
But we're talking
understand that
about
there
religion. We're
are
talking about
men.
religion, though.
There are
Yeah.
men that are
Okay, but
power hungry. That I am one of
we
those
agree with
men.
that. We
I
agree with
will
that.
come and eat your food if I can.
Okay,
Stop
but here's the
Hmm.
playing.
other question. Okay,
Hmm.
so now we understand what you're saying, but okay, let's just keep it in the realms of Bible. Now, if we're
Okay.
saying that a LGBTQ member cannot be a Christian or a Jew because they don't follow the Bible, so how can someone, a fornicator, a thief, a murderer, how can they claim to be a follower of Christ of Judaism?
Because it's not real. Because that philosophy is not real. That's
Let
why.
me let me say something here. So I think this is what it boils down to, because you have people who have or hold the label of Christian.
Right.
However, they're not really necessarily living up to what their Christian beliefs dictate, right?
Exactly.
And so I mean, look in America, you have people who claim that, but it's like they really don't live up to what those standards mean. It's just labels to them. They feel like, okay, all I have to do is just go to church every Sunday and I'll be fine. I can live and I spoke about this on another live. I can just do whatever the hell I want, even though it goes against what I believe, or what the individual believes, which is in the Bible. I could do all those things and still call myself a Christian, go to church on Sunday. But then the night before that, I was all up in the club. I was doing X, Y, Z with Lord knows who.
And what
This
does
is
that
how
tell
people
you?
think.
That tells you that religion is a sham.
Okay,
It
It's
hold
not
on.
is.
even
Let's
just the
get let,
religion
let
is the
wait a minute.
sham. It's not
Let,
even that. Oh, I'm sorry.
go ahead,
I was just
finish.
I was going to say this real quick before I let the person above me respond. It's not necessarily a sham necessarily. It's just that people are walking contradictions, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what that
Absolutely.
boils down to. Because
Absolutely.
and me not being, and like I said, I'll just say this real quick. I'm not necessarily a religious person. I wouldn't call myself a religious person. However, I think that there is some value in, the Bible and those things. If a person wants to live
Sure.
Christ-like, what does that mean? Loving your neighbors, you're loving
Sure.
yourself. You don't steal, don't
The
kill, don't
premises
harm
of
anyone else.
religion is a good thing. It
I
is.
think, yeah, I think those
Yeah.
basic concepts are a good thing. It's when when they try to corrupt things, when they try to corrupt those good morals and the ideas of Christ, and then they turn that for their own benefit. I think that's when it becomes a problem.
So we know
Okay,
that that is
let
what's taking place.
wait a
So
minute.
we
Let Brandy.
understand. And
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let Brandy talk, New Jack. Go ahead, Brandy.
okay. All right.
Hi, y'all.
How you doing?
I I'm doing good,
Hello.
and you were saying exactly what I was thinking about. They take the faith and corrupt it. So many people think they can go and do what they want, and then, oh, I repent. But if you don't repent with true sincerity in your heart, you're not really repenting. You know what I mean? And I'm guilty too. I am a sinner. I'll be the first to tell you that I struggle every day to walk the walk,
How about
but
you, a woman that
I'm
just
sincere.
loves men?
I
Okay.
do love men. I love
Yeah.
everybody.
We're irresistible, aren't we?
Yeah, we need to
Men,
calm that down. Let her talk. Don't do
well,
that to her.
and that's the thing though too. Lust is a very hard one because it states in the Bible to think it is the same as to do it. So I mean, we get caught up in that quick. It's a hard walk to walk.
But will y'all agree with this? I heard Outcast say this: sin is all what you believe in. Do that? Is that kind of like where we are today? That like we have taken. If I don't believe in it, it's not a sin. Even though
I
the
think
Bible says it, if I don't believe it's a sin, it's not a sin. So you got a lot of people who says I could be a Christian, even though in the Bible it speaks against my lifestyle, or even in the Quran or the Torah it speaks against my lifestyle because I don't believe it's a sin. It's not a sin, right? That seems like how religion has become. It's like it's
I, I
religion. It's religion on my terms. I'm gonna do
I
religion
think
on my
that
terms.
sin is an excuse for man and woman to deny their carnal nature to desire each other. Now, it boils back down to, well, look, women outnumber men, right?
Well, we're not just talking about fornication.
No, but it does. That's all it is with us men. Stop fucking playing. It's about how many women we can fucking bring into our fucking realm, our harem, or whatever it is. I think that
And
when
women
you
are
think
very seductive.
it's
It
very
could be murder.
seductive,
What about
very
murder?
seductive.
What about
You know,
robbery?
very seductive, and will only fucking run into shit that seducts them into being fucking a woman that wants to be that woman to a man. Let's stop playing this fucking game. Let's
But hold
stop
on,
playing this
but
game.
listen to what the host just said, though. Listen to what the host just said. Why are you just limited to those I guess sins, so to speak? Why not murder? Because you said something that I keyed in on, which is that we can't deny our carnal nature.
We
What
cannot.
about what about murder then? What about so does that make it right?
That's a part of
Does that
fucking
make it
life.
okay? But
So
I'm saying that
part of life.
see that you see that. Hold on, let me stop you there. You see that? See that's the issue. Yes, there are things that are carnal that are part of this world that humans act on. But the thing of it is, it's still not the right thing for for us to do as human beings. You know, what I mean, people kill each other in the name of money and greed all the time. But it's just because it's a
Hmm.
part of our carnal nature doesn't mean we have to embrace it and act upon it.
That's
That
how you
what
gotta
What
if
embrace
that's
it.
the case,
separates
hold on, hold on a
us?
second.
Wait,
Hold
let
on,
me
hold
ask
on
you
a
a
second.
question. Let me ask a
Okay.
question though. Is
Mhm.
religion, because that's a good point, but maybe religion is direct in opposition of our carnal nation, of our carnal nature.
I
Is
think it
that
is.
true?
I think it
Maybe
is.
the stuff that like religion tells us to do isn't natural to us. It's maybe natural to us to do certain
I see.
things.
What separates us from animals? Because
Your
the
your
wild
ability,
world
your
out
ability
there
to
is
reason.
cruel.
Your ability to reason is what separates you from animals. Animals don't
Okay.
have the ability to reason. They have a fight or flight mentality, and that is it. That's
And
No,
what
we
that's
have
good.
the
separates.
ability to reason
Mhm.
and choose not to murder, steal, and, you know.
Okay,
Absolutely, and not give in to the carnal nature, and
let's
not give
take
into it.
animals. Let's take animals.
That's the benefit of being a human.
Wait a minute, let's take animals. Why did God create such violent creatures?
Did did God create violent creatures? Because
They're
when you
violent
look,
creatures.
because when you look up in the sky tonight, you see beautiful chaos. Maybe God is chaos.
But wait a minute. Why did God create a lion or a tiger that has to eat off a giraffe?
So I'll take
You
it
know
back
what's
down to where
interesting?
we're at. I'll take it back down to where we're at. If the lion does not quell the population of giraffes and gazelles, then we be overrun. It is a balance.
Wait a minute.
It's
Hold
a
on though.
balance.
Wait a minute. We're talking about God here. This is supposed to be the supreme being. He could have created an earth where everything
How do
could
you know
have
that God exists?
existed.
Well, technically, in Genesis, he did. It was corrupted by the first sin.
You guys are basing everything off of a westernized Abrahamic belief.
No,
But
no,
Straight
but
up.
we,
Straight
wait. This
up.
is
the
the
host
thing,
asked a good
Jack. I
question.
understand where you are, and I'm there with you. But we gotta understand this. The thinking of this whole thing. That's what I'm trying to do. So this is my question. If we go with the westernized version of this whole thing, and Brandy brought it up. Brandy said sin happened because of Adam and Eve. Didn't God know that Adam and Eve was going to sin?
Exactly.
I believe he did.
Exactly. So then,
So
therefore,
why
the
he put him
concept
there? Why he
and
put him there?
the whole essence of a God is fucking irrelevant. Why is it so hard for us to believe that we are human beings experiencing a living experience and we don't know? Why is it so hard to admit that you don't know? Because if that was the case, then God would come and save every baby gazelle that was getting eaten by a lion. Just explain and tell yourself, I don't know. I don't know
Okay,
why.
so let me
I
say
don't know
something. Let me say
why.
something here.
Go
Let me
ahead,
say
real.
something here. So here's the thing. The host asked a very good question because that's the question I've been asking myself for a very long time. Now, me myself personally, I'm not religious. I'm a deist. I believe in God. I just don't believe in religion. So with
Okay,
that
I
being
believe that.
said, and so
Agnostic.
and so with that being said, I definitely believe that I know for a fact that there is a supreme being. Now, as far as
How?
why
How?
there's
Give us an
animals in there,
example.
wait a
Give
minute,
us
wait a
an
minute. You can't
example.
interrupt
Wait a
my
minute, let
brother,
him
brother,
talk. Let
brother,
him
brother.
talk. Let him talk.
Hold on a second. So the thing of it is that when I look at nature, that's a question that I'm always stumped by. It's like, okay, you have this ecosystem, and you have animals that consume other ones. Why is it like this? I've always racked my brain trying to figure that out. I don't know. Now I can speculate and guess, but I honestly don't know myself.
Okay,
But
would
if I
you
were to
allow
take
your
it,
house? Would you allow your house or apartment, wherever you're living, to be overrun with roaches?
I'm killing
No.
them.
Huh?
Right.
Yes or no?
I'm
But
killing
is
them.
he
What do you mean?
God?
Of
But wait a
course
minute,
What
is he
not.
question is
God?
that?
Is
I'm
he
killing them.
God though? Is he
So
God
to
though?
step back and ponder these things as to why the gazelle gets to be eaten by the lion, is all a fucking balance. This
But,
is the
but here,
one thing that we should
Mhm.
understand and know, that life is a fucking balance.
Wait a
Quit
minute,
Well,
hold
that
on,
means
motherfucking
hold
like,
on, New Jack, answer this.
yeah.
Okay,
stuff
everyone
is
answer
different,
this.
bro.
Let everyone get a chance to answer this.
I want to answer it first though.
What is our purpose on Earth? Because it
To
seems like our
to
purpose on Earth
reproduce.
is. Wait a minute, hold on. You ain't listened to the whole question.
All right.
It seems like our only purpose on Earth is that we're being used as, like, the Bible says your only purpose on earth, along with the Quran says your only purpose on earth is to praise God. So we're going through all of this stuff, and I'll give you an example. In the Bible, the blind man came up to Jesus, and the disciple said, "Hey, why is he blind? Is he blind because his mama sinned? Is he blind because his daddy sinned?" And Jesus said, "No, he's blind so he could bring forth the power of God," and he healed this man. So it's like, hey, what the hell are we here for? Why are we on earth going through all of this trauma? And then at the end of earth, the reward is that we go to heaven. So, what do you think that's what, when you ask questions about the gazelle, that's what you're trying to get to. Like, what the hell is our purpose here?
I believe our purpose is to fucking go for the drive that we go for, and that is to reproduce sex, because that is more important than anything else on earth. Is for our ability as man and woman to get together and to give ourselves that feeling. That is in
I can't
stone.
tell you you're wrong because that's your fault, but sex is, I'm going to be honest with you, sex is overrated to me.
Mhm.
It's
And
very
not to
overrated.
me.
And I'm probably like one of the best persons to ever do it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Probably one of the best persons to ever do this shit. It's very overrated. It's very overrated.
I do agree with him in a sense that we do need to reappropriate. God did say, "Go and be fruitful." He never said, "Go and be fruitful to a certain amount."
So you know
So
what?
we
I
gotta
have.
ask ourselves though. We gotta ask ourselves, how do you
Wait,
guys know that God said this? How do you guys know that God said this?
let's deal with that in a minute. But that's true. That's true. Let the real talk. Let the real talk.
Okay,
Then we'll
so
deal with that. Then we'll deal with that. Go ahead, real.
I'm gonna give my perspective as a deist. So I believe, and this is my personal opinion. I think the reason why we're here is that, and this is my theory. I could be totally wrong. I think
Hey,
when
okay.
God created this universe, I think He wanted something or someone to be able to leave a legacy towards. Almost similar to how, men, for the most part, they want a son to be able to kind of carry on in his name in a sense. I
Mhm.
think my theory is that God wanted something to be able to represent him and to carry on his legacy. So he created mankind.
So how do you
And
know
when
that
he
God is a man?
you gotta let me finish, brother. I know you're anxious. Just let me land. Just let
Yeah,
me land for a little bit.
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
So I believe, I just like how, a father wants to have a son to build a legacy. I believe God created us to have a legacy to be able to represent him. I believe that he built this earth for us to be able to have dominion over it and to build the empires and create sort of the reality in the world that we wanted to create, as long as we adhere to certain rules and guidelines. That's what I believe. So,
Okay,
And
but
how?
wait a minute.
Okay.
Hold on. I got your question. I got you, brother. I got you. Now, how do we know? Because everything we know comes from these books. Everything
mhm.
we know about God comes from these books. So how do we know if this is the true word of God?
That's a very good question. I think really the only way to know that for certain is through intense study and research. Now, there's a possibility maybe these books are not the word of God. Like I said, I'm speaking as a deist. But then there's a possibility that they might be. Who knows? I think the only way to really figure that out is to test them to see if they're valid or not.
So,
If they're not valid, then we toss them. But if they're
okay.
valid, then we have to look at them.
Exactly. So, which brings me back to my original thing. We are still learning because this is the truth. There was a point in time on Earth where humans believed that fire was a god, that the wind was a god, that water was a god, until they learned how to harness those energies, and then they no longer looked at them as a god. Let's just be safe with saying we are still learning. We don't know. Do you remember being born? Do you remember being born? Be honest.
Mm-mm.
Do you remember when you were born? Do you remember, not to be disrespectful, your mother's vagina wrapped around your neck?
I don't think none of us remember that. We
Fuck
remember
no,
what
you don't
people told
remember
us.
that. So how the hell don't know if you dead? Quit fucking playing. We don't know. We are a life experiencing a moment. And you should be sound in that. And not only sound in that, expound on that. Be the biggest life that you can be.
Okay,
Based
but wait a
off
minute,
of
wait a minute, wait a
not.
minute,
Good
wait a
night,
minute.
guys. Good night.
We have not still, we have not answered the question, what is the purpose of life? Because
Reproduction
the
at this point.
Bible and the Quran teaches
Reproduction.
us, hold on, the Bible and the Quran teaches us the purpose of our life is to glorify God. Now, I understand what the real is saying, but why would you want your son to live? If you wanted the legacy from your son, you would want your son to have a better life. It seems like all we do is we're constantly in suffering. So,
Hey,
like, this is
I
what I
think
say.
we
And
This is
call
maybe
wait
it.
a minute.
that's the
I
Wait a
think
minute.
we
This
purpose.
is what.
call.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me explain this. This is my point of view. I sometimes say if I died and went to heaven and I found out there was a God, I would tell him to send me to hell because I wouldn't want to be up there with because I think he's a selfish asshole. I'm just being honest with you because you're making people suffer on earth. People are being slaughtered. People are being, taken against their wills. You're getting kids killed and all of this stuff, and you don't do nothing. It was a quote. It was a quote, and I forgot who said it. And the quote was basically, I'm gonna paraphrase it: "If God is not doing nothing, maybe He's powerless." And then if He got power and He's not doing it, basically said maybe He's just an asshole. So
Let
how
me say
which is
about
something.
it? Is
Can I
He
say something?
powerless or is He just an asshole?
Can I say
Can I?
something? Can I say something? Just real
Yeah, go
fast.
ahead.
Just real fast. I'm gonna pass it to Brandon and just give me like a minute. So
Okay.
here's the thing. I believe that we as human beings, this as a deist, my perspective is that we have free will. So with that being said, all the stuff that's being done is from our own accord and from our own choices.
goddamn right? Because beliefs aren't
I think
rooted
it's
in
that.
fucking.
I think I honestly believe this that we are the ones who are responsible for all of this because
You
you have
damn
people who are
right.
greedy, you have people who want to have power and they'll do anything and everything to achieve that,
Now we're.
even if it means unaliving their neighbor, their brother, their sister, they don't care. The people in power, they don't care. All they
You're
care about
carnal.
is maintaining their power. That's it.
And I
Go
Okay.
ahead.
will and I will
Well,
back up with what you say as that leads to the I believe the purpose of us being here is to rise above the hate and the crime and everything that we got going and try to come together in love.
okay. But let me
Hey,
throw a monkey wrench.
Brandy.
Let me wait. Hold on. Let me throw a monkey wrench. Let me throw a monkey wrench. If God is free will, if we got free will, then God can't be all knowing. He can't be all you got. He can't be all knowing. If we got free will, he can't be all knowing. So y'all gotta choose which
At
one it is. Is he
all.
all
But
knowing or if we
hold
got
on,
free
hold
will?
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
No,
hold on,
Wait a
hold
minute.
on, hold on.
Do you
Okay. We
want your
got
child to love you
No, 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 no,
because
no, no.
they love you or
You,
because of what you can do for them?
hey,
hold
Okay,
on, hold
hold
Brandy.
on,
on,
hold
hold
on,
on.
Brandy.
hold on. Let Marlon speak. Let Marlon get some. Go ahead,
Okay.
Marlon.
One thing. One thing. Brandy. Is it Brandy?
From my
Brandy. Hold up. Hold up.
Wait. Let Marlon
Brandy.
speak. Let Marlon speak. We'll come back.
All right. All right.
okay. Good night, guys. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Are you leaving?
Let him go. It
From my
got
Come on,
deep.
man. Say what
perspective,
you got to
right?
say.
It got scared.
Hey,
From my
Marlon, come on.
perspective.
Okay.
Hey, Brandy.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Marlon's talking. Hold on. Y'all gotta let him talk. Come on,
Okay.
Marlon. Marlon, you gotta talk, man.
But I can't. Sorry. From my perspective, okay. We say God don't know. God
Mhm.
know what we're gonna do. But you see, do we? No, hold on. Do you understand the beauty about free will? You see, there's God gave us two destiny in life, and with that free will, we choose and make that choice. For me personally, I believe that life on earth is just a test, and He sent His Son to show you that the body is just the shell. What lie within inside is more beautiful, more than just the skin that we have on our body. So we have a destiny. There's two paths in life, and with that free will, give us that choice. Either we follow God or you follow yourself. And that's where all of us been making these mistakes in life. But
Listen,
now,
man.
no, hold
Listen.
on, hold on, hold on. Before this English version came in about the Bible, the New Testament and the Old Testament,
Come
wasn't
on,
there
camera,
God?
so we can,
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Wasn't there
come
God
on,
way
camera,
before
so we
that?
can see who we're talking to.
Wasn't there God way before that?
Mhm.
I don't know. I want to see who I'm
Because
talking
that's
to
where they
first
get it
before I
from.
start
That's
answering
where
these
they
That's
get
what
some
questions.
of
we're
the scriptures
debating.
from. No, hold
That's
on.
what we
That's where they
I
get
debating.
some
want
of
to
the
see who I'm
scriptures.
talking to before I fucking start answering questions.
He wants you to turn your camera
You
on.
goddamn right. I want to see who I'm talking to before I start answering questions.
Why you want to turn the camera on? Because
Shit.
wait a
This
minute, wait a
guy's
minute, wait a
funny.
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Y'all can't. This is the thing. Y'all
Here I
can't
am,
keep.
son.
Okay, let me throw a monkey wrench. Let me throw a monkey wrench, and I'm gonna prove this with your own book. Jesus don't save nobody. I know y'all gonna get mad. Y'all gonna get mad, but Jesus can't save nobody because when the rich man came to Jesus, if Jesus could save, he would have saved the rich man.
Thank you.
But the rich
Thank
man
you.
made a decision not to follow Jesus. The rich man said, "Nah, I'm not doing it," and he walked away from Jesus. So if
This-
Jesus could save, he would have saved the rich man. But the person who saves you is you. Now, with that said, once again,
exactly my point. No,
no, no, no,
He
no, no,
came. Okay,
wait,
go ahead. Go ahead.
wait,
Go ahead.
wait, wait, wait.
Go.
If y'all say that we have free will and God is all knowing,
Uh-huh.
then what the hell are we doing here? Because he already knows who's going to go to heaven. So what the hell the rest of us doing here?
No,
Why
you
are we
see,
just
it's not about he knows. He's giving you a choice to
This
choose.
is the difference in the
He's
believers
giving
and those
you
of
a
us that live
choice to
in
choose.
factual space
Hold on,
and
hold on, hold
time.
on.
but
Just
he
listen, just
knows
listen,
already
listen.
who's going to choose.
That's why I told you about that two path. But
But no, no,
Tupac.
no,
it's
no,
not about
wait,
no, no,
listen
no.
to what I'm saying. You're not
We
listening
have
to
our
wait,
time. No, hold
wait a
on.
minute, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm
Okay.
saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
If God is all knowing,
Uh-huh.
even though you got free will, he already knows what you're going to choose because he's all knowing. So
No,
he already knows who's going to choose to be saved.
no, but
So
hold on.
what
But
the
this is
hell
what
is the
no.
rest of
This
us here for?
all right. This is what now. This is what's gonna go on. So if me now have the power to control you, right? If me have the power to control you, whatever I tell you to do, jump, walk, skip, you have to do it regardless. Hold on, regardless, right?
Mhm.
So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that authority from myself and
But you're
not.
still all
Hold on,
knowing
just listen, just listen, listen.
because you're missing the
Let's hear him
point.
out. Let's
Hold
hear
on,
him
just
out.
let me
Let's hear him
finish,
out.
let me
Let's hear him
finish,
out. Let's hear him out.
let me
Let's hear
finish.
him out.
So
Let's hear
what
him
I'm gonna
out. Let's
do
hear him
is I'm gonna pull that authority from myself. So
Okay.
with me pulling that authority from myself, now I'm gonna give you two destiny. And with those two destiny, I know the outcome. But now I'm not programming you anymore. I'm making you choose.
But
You
listen
are
to
Then
gonna
my
that
choose
makes
your
God
question.
a
destiny.
Listen to
narcissist.
my
Hold on.
question.
Then God is a
Listen to
narcissist.
my
But that's what I'm
question.
trying to tell you. He
If
does
God,
know.
no, wait a minute,
No,
wait a
no, no,
minute, wait
no.
a minute. I understand what you're saying. But if God already knows, God tells you, he gives you left and right. And he already knows who's going to go left and who's going to go right. Even though we think we're choosing to go left or right. What the hell are we here for? Just take everybody who's going right and get rid of everybody who's going left. That's all you gotta do.
But you're still
Simple.
but you no. You're still not no.
That's
This is
simple.
only thing you get. No.
It's that
This no hold on.
simple.
Hold on. So let all right. All right. But this is the only concept you're seeing. The
I'm
only
seeing
concept
the
you're
free
seeing is
will.
that no, hold on. No, but hold on. That's let me explain. The only concept you're seeing is the simple fact that you tell yourself, you know what? God already knows.
Right.
But this is the difference. Hold on, but this is the difference now. What God did was instead of have one destiny. Hold on. I have one part to follow. He said, I'm going to give you two. I'm
Didn't
going to give
really,
you one. Hold on. Hold
didn't
on.
really
Because
give
what
you
happens,
two.
this is the thing. This is the thing. The deal that was happening before is when the devil said, I don't know if this is true, but I'm just going to give you a part of what I understand from growing up as a kid. The deal was, let them go, and I can prove to you I can turn them against you.
Wait a minute, hold on,
Hold
wait,
on.
stop, stop, stop.
Hold
Let me
on, hold
stop
on,
you
hold
right
on.
there. Wait a
Let
minute,
me
hold on,
finish. No,
stop,
no, no,
stop.
let me finish. No,
Yeah,
let me
time out,
finish.
give me
Let me
time out,
finish.
give me time out,
No,
because I
no,
want to
let
ask you
me
a question.
finish.
I want
Just
to
let
ask
me
you,
finish.
brother,
No,
let me
no, let me
ask you a
finish first.
question.
Just let me
Yeah, I
finish
will.
first.
Okay, brother. Let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
Doesn't that make God a shitty God?
No,
Fuck yeah.
Here's a
no,
God. Wait a minute, hold on.
no.
Let me finish asking the question. Here's a
Okay.
God. Here's a God. Let's
Mhm.
take the story of Job. Here's a Job doing everything that he was supposed to for God. Here comes the devil. And the devil says, hey, I bet you I can make him curse you out. And God says, I'll take that bet. And he turns that whole man's life into a living hell. Why would I follow a God who does that? Why would I do that?
Hey, so the whole thing.
Listen,
Listen.
but the thing is, what I was trying to get to you.
No, explain that point because you just proved that God's shitty. He's a shitty
No,
God.
bro.
That's
But
what
this
you
is the
proved.
thing.
Why would I
All we
follow
thinking
him?
about right now is
Why would
life
I
on this
follow that
earth.
man?
No,
He's
hold on.
shitty.
All we're thinking about right now is
He's
life on this
horrible.
earth.
He's
And
horrible.
remember, all of
He's
these
a
things that
horrible
happen,
God.
hold on. All of these things
That's
that
what you
happen
proved.
in
He's
mankind's life.
horrible.
Just listen for a second.
You
We
just
Everything
listening.
about no,
okay. Prove
hold
to
on.
me how you, my man. Prove
Let
to me
me
how he's a good guy.
explain. You don't want me to explain, fam.
We listening.
Listen,
We
listen.
listen.
After all these things that happen in mankind's life, can me ask you one simple question? Is it God is the one that's doing it?
Yes.
No,
Fuck
it's
no.
No,
us.
it is God.
We are the one that's doing it.
No, it's not. It's
No, no,
God.
in Job, no. I gotta correct you. Now, in the story of Job, Satan made the bet with the Most High, and then God allowed Satan to torment him. So by
Ain't that a
default,
shitty
God is
God?
responsible.
Hey,
Ain't that a shitty God?
No, bro.
I'm doing all
I'm
I
not
can.
gonna.
I'm doing everything you
No,
tell
bro.
me to do, and then you make a bet on my life, and you turn that shit upside down.
And,
Ain't
and
that
then,
a
and
But
shitty
then,
God?
because there's
but
something
here's the
way
thing.
more.
Here's my opinion.
Listen,
Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
my
wait.
belief
Let
is
the real talk. Let the real talk. Let the real talk. Let's chill.
Okay,
Chill. Go
so
ahead,
this
real.
is my opinion. So like I said, I believe a little bit differently. Like I said, I believe in a creator. I just don't believe in religion. So with that being said, I think um I don't know. I'm not gonna say God is bad or shitty. I'm not gonna say that.
you
This is
believe
what
in a
my opinion.
creator, and how does the creator create it?
Well, let him talk. Let
First,
him talk.
Let me talk. Hold on. Let me land. I don't think that.
introduce us.
I think,
Introduce us to your creator. Introduce
bro,
creator.
Wait a
come
minute.
on.
let him speak,
Let me.
fam.
We got you. I got you. I got you, New
Well,
Jack. I
okay.
know where you coming
So
from. I'll get you next. Let me.
yeah, I don't believe. Yeah, I don't believe God is shitty or bad. I think, like I
No,
said,
man.
the things that happen in life are the result of human beings and our own choices and what we
Exactly.
choose to
Yeah.
value. And so, with that being said, again, we're made in the image of God, so therefore we have the power as human beings to be able to create the circumstances in our life that we want to create. I've seen
There we
this
go.
time and
That's
time again.
There we
And
go.
so, and
that's
so,
fucking.
yeah. So
Why
for
do
me,
we
I don't
keep
think
waiting? Hold on.
God is
Why do we keep
bad.
coming back to the same question?
Oh, go ahead.
If
Go ahead.
do we have free will? If you have free will, God doesn't know everything. And if God knows everything and he knows who's going to do what, he can prevent it.
Hey, OG, listen to
But
what he
he
said.
But
No,
see, that's the
but
thing. I
he's
think that
stepping
God wants
back,
to give.
fam.
This is my theory. This is my
He's
theory.
stepping
I
back.
believe that. Hold on. This is my theory. I believe that ultimately God doesn't want us to force us to go left or right. Ultimately,
Exactly.
and this is why I believe in the concept of free will, meaning that we have
Exactly.
the choice as to whether or not we go left or right, and God will not intervene. See, this is what I believe that's different from Christians. I believe that we God created us and said, you know what? Here's this universe. It's on you. So the stuff that we
fuck.
do, there is no intervention. There is no
It's true.
as a deist, I believe this. I believe that ultimately the world is in bad, piss poor shape because we chose to be able to have this world in piss poor shape.
We
That's
And that
bring
why
our
makes
own
people.
God a
hell.
shitty God. That's make God a shitty God.
We
Because he
bring
let
our own.
his people control
Listen,
his people. Now listen to
No,
me.
we
Listen
all
to me.
gonna
Oh,
have
hear
our
me out. Hear me
different
out, brothers. Hear
choices,
me
right?
out. Hear me out. Then New Jack gonna get to talk. Hear me out.
Mhm.
So you got these people who are doing the will of God, doing everything God said he wanted done and doing the right. And these people are being ruled and tormented by people who are just doing whatever the hell they want to. Why wouldn't God intervene? Wouldn't you
Because
help?
this is the
If you
reason.
had a child,
He
if
choose
you had
not
a
to, fam.
child, wouldn't you
He,
intervene? Come
no,
on,
he
man.
choose not
That's
to.
the thing.
He
It's
choose
because it's
not
on
to. He
us.
stepped
See,
out and
because
gave us
So
free
he's a
because
will.
shitty God.
No,
no,
he's
no, but
not,
listen,
bro.
listen.
We
Yes, he
are the
is.
shitty
He's a shitty
people.
God.
No,
We are the shitty ones. We're the
No,
one
God
hurting
is
each other.
shitty because
No,
you're
man, we
watching.
are
Wait a minute, hold
hurting
on. Wait,
each
wait,
other,
wait, wait, wait,
fam.
wait, 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 wait.
Hold
Now
on.
let's get serious. Let's get serious. Everybody be cool. Everybody be cool.
All right.
Let's get serious. There's a 4-year-old in the room with a grown ass man who's about to take advantage of him. God is supposed to be everywhere. God is supposed to be watching.
that's a
Why
hell of
wouldn't God intervene?
yeah. So listen, OG. Before we got this far, he explained that one, and I was on board with the last guy.
No,
He spoke that fact and shit. What was
explain it
his
again.
name? Explain that shit again. The last
No,
thing.
because he's explaining it from the Bible. You can't explain it
No,
from the
no,
Bible.
that shit
Most
wasn't
people
even
have no
that.
concept of God. Y'all have no concept of God, so y'all coming from the Bible. The Bible and the Quran has shitty gods, and y'all don't want to admit that.
That shit was logical.
Okay, so
Be careful when talking about the youth and shit, because it'll shut down the fucking shit. You know what I mean?
The what?
It'll shut down your life and shit. Hey,
Okay. God in the Bible and the Quran, God is not a good God. He's not a good God. Now, if someone deserved it, I could understand that y'all saying him not intervening. But when it comes to little kids and you don't intervene, something is wrong.
we get that part. I get that part.
okay, so I get that. So let me just give you my opinion. Like I said, bad stuff happens in this world all the time. Now, and like I said, I can't presume to know everything. I just know what I know and I know what I don't. All I can do is speculate on this issue. Like I said, I think ultimately that still in the end of the day goes down to us because a lot of times we don't know the circumstances involved because you have shitty parents, very shitty parents
Why do you got
who
shitty parents?
Well, let him finish. Let him finish, though. Let him
because
finish.
you have shitty parent because a matter of fact on TikTok I saw this story on TikTok of this 26-year-old woman who had her daughter basically, right, 4-year-old daughter, who her and her father, they're overly religious, they believed that their 4-year-old had demons inside of her, so they exorcised her, and so what they did is they abused her to the point to where she ended up being unalived by them. And I'm like, this evil mother, how could you do, you know what I mean? It's like I couldn't wrap my head around it. Like, why would you do this to your own daughter?
All right,
And
so I
that and,
think
that,
it
and
was
it
the
goes
other
back to what I'm
speaker
saying
that
is
said
that this
something.
world is evil because of the evil people in it. Period.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
really no way
Yeah, I mean,
around
that's
that.
facts. That's fucking facts and shit. That's fucking
That
facts. And
might
that
be
goes back to
facts, but
fucking that
that
whole
may
free
be
will thing.
what y'all doing is y'all are excusing God in this whole thing. You're
yeah,
excusing God.
yeah.
You're making
It's not
excuses.
necessarily
If I'm
excusing
gonna
God.
wait
Fam,
a
so
minute, listen to me, listen to me.
okay, okay. So let me ask you a
Mute yourself
question.
because
Y'all
someone's
need to
echoing. Mute
No,
understand
it's
yourself.
not
that God is
excusing. It's not
fucking
excusing. So,
made in the
like for
image
instance,
of fucking your
you have
brain.
a son, right, and your son go there and do something wrong, is that your fault? Are you a shitty father
Are
for
you the
him to go
son of
and do
God? Wait a
something
minute, wait a
wrong?
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. That's two different things.
It's not this different. It's the
No,
same
no,
thing.
it's not. There's two different things. You know why? God created the whole universe, and the whole thing. God controls everything. You don't control everything. God could intervene at any point to stop the evil in the world. Why in the
If
why in
God
the
is a
why,
real
wait a minute, hold
entity,
on, wait a
though,
minute, because
right?
y'all talking too much and not listening. Let me ask you a question. Why did God, instead of sending his son, destroy the devil? Why didn't he just destroy the devil? Now, we're not basing this on my beliefs in God. We're basing this on your books. And y'all coming from your books. I'm not questioning my real beliefs of God has not been shown yet. But I'm questioning the beliefs that y'all got from your books. Why didn't God just destroy the devil and everything would be over with? Why did he
Because
sacrifice his own son when he could just destroy the devil and everything would have been over with?
But all right, if you look at it this way, if you say that, okay, if you're gonna go by the Bible and you're gonna talk about the Bible, because I'm not a Bible thumper or anything, but if you're gonna say about the Bible and that,
Your
was
whole
his son dead?
philosophy of God is from the Bible,
Was
though.
is hold on. If you're gonna let's go to the Bible and use the Bible as you want to use. So when his son died, as according to where you say God allowed his son to die by the devil. In 3 days,
God
what
didn't allow his
happened?
son to die
turn
by
In
the
your
devil.
3
camera if
no,
you ain't
hold
scared
on.
of the
Listen,
lies. Like
in
turn up
three
the
days,
camera
what
if you ain't did
happened?
nothing
That
wrong.
man wasn't even
Turn
dead.
up the camera.
Okay, wait a minute, hold on. Let's test your five. Let's test your
Turn up the
philosophy. You say
camera.
3 days,
Look
right?
at that.
Mm-hmm.
3 days.
Mm-hmm.
He died Friday. That's one day, right? No, he died
Mm-hmm.
Friday night. He
I
didn't
even
die on
know when he
Friday.
died,
He
fam.
died Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday will make one day.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday will make 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell you get the third day from? Did he rise on Monday?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Isn't Sunday
He
the third
died
day?
Friday night.
It was three
He
days and
lived
Listen,
all the way
I
through
don't listen.
Friday.
No, hold on. If you're gonna come with the days, and I
I
don't know
know the
nothing about
days.
those
Go
days.
read your book. Go read your
I
book
said
when he
three
died.
days. He said he never give you a.
Okay,
There was
wait a minute.
no month. There was no month in the Bible back then.
There's no
We
dates in
said
the Bible. There's no dates, period. The whole
there was
damn
no
book is
month. So when
false.
you're
There's
gonna
no
say
dates.
Friday, Saturday,
There's
and
no
Sunday,
dates in the
Monday,
Bible.
that wasn't in the Bible, fam. There's no Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the Bible. If you can show me a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the Bible, then we can go by the count that you want to count.
Okay, let me
It
ask you this.
said 3 days. 3 days
Hey,
is 3 days.
hey,
3 days is
hey,
3 days, okay?
what he
Then
say? He said something that was
why do we
untrue.
celebrate Easter on Sunday? Good Friday is Friday and Easter's on a Sunday.
Because all these holidays are pagan holidays, fam.
No. That's
Of
probably right.
course it is.
That's probably right.
Easter
But hey,
represents the
come here,
Easter bunny.
come here. You know what else
Christmas
is pagan?
represents the
You know what else
Santa
is pagan?
Claus.
You know what else is pagan? You
Mm.
know what else is pagan?
What's that?
The
Every holiday
Bible.
is.
The
Yeah.
Bible. The Bible's pagan.
No, I wouldn't
well, I
say
gotta
the
stop you
Bible
there.
is. I
Look.
wouldn't
The
Hold
say
on,
the
hold on.
Bible is
Bible
a
I
is.
gotta
false
interject
book.
something.
No, I wouldn't say the Bible
I
The
gotta
is.
interject
Bible is
something.
false.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I
No, no.
gotta. Okay.
I
I'm
feel.
quiet. I've
I
stayed quiet. Hold on. Let me say something real fast. I'm gonna try to keep it under a minute because I know somebody else just came in here. So
Okay.
this is my view on, like as a deist. This is my view on the Bible.
That
Okay, we
guy
already know
right there.
you're a
Let me
My
deist. You don't
listen.
gotta keep saying it every time. Okay. Go ahead though.
no,
He's
I know.
okay.
No, just for
He
the
with
other
the
person saying.
business and shit.
Okay.
I'm feeling it.
Okay.
So my belief is that the Bible that we're looking at is not necessarily a complete book. It has
no,
66
it's
books.
not.
And then it has 66, the one we know, but I know that there's at least 20 to 30 more books that are missing. So with that being said, there are some things in there that are historically accurate that did
That's
It's
happen.
fucking
true,
Name
correct.
one.
which is
Name one.
facts.
Name
I'll
one.
name one.
Name
I'll
one.
name one.
Name one.
King Cyrus and the freeing of the Jews in the book of
You,
Jeremiah.
you don't
That
even have to
actually
get
happened.
that deep. Like you
False.
can go like a
False.
little bit
Time
Oh,
further.
out.
no, no,
Time
no,
out.
no.
Time out.
Let
Time
me
out. Time
finish.
out. Time
You
out.
can
Time
No,
out.
no,
you
no,
can
no,
Wait,
no,
wait,
no.
wait. Hold
understand.
on. Hold on. Because now we gotta do
Yeah.
something. We got for the Jews to be true. We gotta go back to Egypt. Egypt has
Ho-
a great record system.
Let him finish it,
Wait a
OG.
minute, hold on.
I
Let me
gotta finish my
finish. Let me
point.
finish. Because
Okay.
for that story to be true, the Jews would have to be true. And for the Jews to be true, we would have to go back to Egypt. And
I think
The
you're gonna
Egyptians
agree
have a
with him if
great
you listen
wait
to
a
him.
minute, man. Come on, calm down. I'm tired of starting over. The
All right.
Egyptians have a great record keeping, and there's no record of the Jews in Egypt. There's no
Now,
record of the Hebrew Israelites in Egypt. So that story is false because there's no record of Moses, there's no record of Abraham in Egypt. And that
I
whole
didn't talk about the
story
Exodus.
is based in Egypt.
No, no,
So if
hold on a
there's no
second. Now,
record
let me
of it, how
respond.
can it
I
be
wasn't.
true?
Wait. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Now, I wasn't talking about the Exodus. I was talking about the book of Jeremiah. Now, if you study the book of Jeremiah, you will realize that the Jews were in a period of captivity for 70 years and they were freed under King Cyrus. Now, who is King Cyrus? King Cyrus was a Persian king. Where is modern day Persia today? Persia is located in modern day Iran. And if you look in the Museum of World History in Iran, in their documents, as well as Encyclopedia Britannica, they actually document the story of how the Jews were freed by King Cyrus during the time of Jeremiah. This is historically verifiable, not only just by the Encyclopedia Britannica, but also the Iranian Museum of World History, as well as many other sources. That
Okay, but
actually
let me
ties
ask you
to
this though. This is my point.
Okay.
Where did the Jews begin?
Yeah.
Mhm.
bro. I
Where
think
the
Hey,
Jews don't even exist. You cannot find existence of the Jews outside the Bible.
Outside of the
I
Bible.
just gave you a source. I gave you a
Outside
source.
of the
That
Bible.
doesn't make
Iran.
it true. That
Get
doesn't
that
make it
part.
true
I,
I heard what
because
he
there's
said
no.
too.
But
but
listen
that,
to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm
okay,
saying.
okay,
Listen to what I'm
I heard
saying.
what he
okay.
said too.
The
I did,
Jews'
OG.
whole existence is in it came from Egypt. Moses, Abraham. The Egyptians don't have a record of the Jews. What you're probably
They don't.
reading and what most of the Bible is stolen texts from other cultures.
It's fucking
So
from Kemetic Nile Valley civilization culture is what
so
that shit is stolen from.
that can't be a true story. And maybe we can document it, but we got to first prove where did these Jews come from
Yeah.
Now,
because
now
Exactly
there's
my
no
right.
thing is,
record of them in
Can
Egypt.
I ask a question?
me,
Let's
Go
not
ahead, spiritual.
Can
Go
intertwine.
ahead.
Can I ask a
Wait,
go
question?
wait.
ahead.
Let new bro talk.
Nile
Let new
Valley
bro talk.
Africans is about
Wait. Let
distance
new.
real
Wait, hold
fucking
on. Go ahead,
talk.
spiritual.
Playing. Quit
All right, I
fucking
want to
playing.
ask this. Correct me if I'm wrong. You said Egypt has the most vast record keeping, right?
Yeah,
But no one has seen the whole records of Egypt because the Library of Alexandria was burned. And
That's
what the
true.
Romans and
Okay?
whatever
That
else
is
that the
fucking
Romans
true.
whatever else the Romans tended to keep for themselves is
For
buried
sure. It's in the
in the
church.
Vatican.
Yeah.
In the
that's not
Vatican.
true.
So
But we have the
so
wall.
nobody. But do you hear
Okay,
what I'm
wait a minute. Hold
saying?
on.
There's
Hold on.
other
no,
stuff.
let
There's
spiritual
other
Someone
speak.
got
stuff.
to
Spiritual
mute.
speak.
Someone got to mute. Hey, man, you got to mute
I'm a
yourself
mute.
because you
I'm
got
a
too much
mute.
background. No,
Okay.
no, it's
Is
not
that me?
you. It's the second. Marlon, you got to mute yourself. You're back. You're coming in. Mute yourself real quick. Go ahead, spiritual.
Okay. So all I'm trying to say is we don't have the full records of nothing. Those folks that came through that attacked Jerusalem, they've been conquering places and taking all the information. They done took all the papyruses. We don't know what was in that library. And what they want us to know, they gonna hide the rest. So of course you can't go back to Egypt and say, well, I ain't seen no record of this. Maybe that's not what they want you to see. Maybe they took
Okay,
all the
okay,
stuff that said it was true
That's fucking
and
real
hid it.
talk, man.
okay. But answer this: wouldn't the Egyptians put on the wall if their firstborn children was killed? If the Red Sea was parted?
They
If there was
documented
a
it.
bunch of
They did.
locusts that attacked them? That's not on the wall.
The
And
same way
even
we
the
document.
Egyptians said there is no record of
Hey,
us
let's hear her again
enslaving.
though.
There
Let's
is
hear
no
her
record of
again.
us enslaved. Could you stop?
That's no,
Come
no, no.
on,
Let's
man.
hear it again
Hey,
because
New Jack,
He has
this is not
ADD.
battle rap. We don't need a hype man. Wait till your turn.
He has ADD.
Wait your
I'm
turn,
still
man.
listening. Continue.
So so
Continue.
so wouldn't they we learned so much from the wall of Egypt, people who have studied the wall. Wouldn't these be important information that hey, Moses parted the Red Sea? You will see this on the wall. It's not on the wall. Do you believe that the sea opened up? Come on now.
Well,
We gotta ask ourselves about these fairy tales.
ca-
Do you
Okay.
and then let's take the
Oh,
story of Noah. The story of Noah. We're gonna start with the elementary and then we're gonna go to the scholarly. The elementary is how the hell did he get all of those animals to be on a boat for 60 days without killing each other? Answer. If you can prove that to me, I'll let it go.
okay. Let me explain this, or try
No,
to
just explain
explain
that
what I was
part.
saying. In the,
No.
no,
Explain
I
that
can't.
part, and then
No
you.
one can explain.
No one
No
can
one can
explain what
explain that part.
because
No
it
one can
didn't
explain
happen.
that because
It didn't
we wasn't
happen
there.
because it didn't
But
happen.
all I was saying, if you just listen, you have to listen sometimes to
No, because
understand.
you're trying to place.
So
You're trying to use beliefs. against scientific
No, I'm not.
facts.
I never use belief. Think about what I said, and I
You're
want
using the
everybody to
Bible.
agree or
You're trying
disagree.
to explain
This
to
is
me.
what I
Okay, go
said.
ahead. Go ahead, explain it to us.
I said no one has seen all of the evidence. I never mentioned the Bible. Why are you throwing that on me?
Because that's where the story
I
came
said
from, the
I said
Bible.
when the people now, hold on. I said when the people conquered all these places, and if you don't believe me, do your research. They done conquered all these places. They took a lot of the information and hid it. That's
But
exactly what I said.
but
I
you're
haven't
trying
even
to
said
prove the
much.
Bible. You're trying to prove the
I
Bible.
didn't
I
try to
said,
prove the
listen to what I
Bible.
said. Listen to what I said. I said there's no proof there was a flood, that firstborn child got killed. That's all in the Bible. Now you come in, you're trying to explain why we don't have the records of the Bible. That's what you're trying to do.
I didn't say the records of the Bible. I
Well, where
said
else did you
it,
read a
it, it-
story about
if
the
you listen,
Egyptians getting their firstborn kids
if,
killed?
if you listen, I never mentioned none of that.
Then
I
why
never
are you
mentioned that.
trying
I
to
just
defend
made
it?
a lot. I just made a logical statement
No, you made
that
it.
because I
Okay, this
heard
is
you
what the
said,
misunderstanding
I
is.
heard you.
This is what the misunderstanding is. You might have made a logical statement, but your logical statement was in defense of what was said in the Bible.
No, it wasn't in defense of that. You misunderstood me. Let me
How could it
correct you.
not be? Because that's what we was
Let me,
talking
let me,
about.
let me,
So, fam.
but let
So
me
let me
correct
ask a
you.
Did
question.
you not know what
When
we
I
was talking about?
started,
Hold on, hold
no,
on.
no, no, no. When
Then
I
why say
started,
what
I
we was
said.
talking about? Just put your 2 cents in.
When I started, I said,
Okay.
correct me if I'm wrong. You
No.
said Egypt has the best record holding. That's what
Yes.
I was talking about. I was going on what you
Yes.
said.
Yes. But
That's what you
you
said.
but
And then I
but
said,
but
no
when you
one
said
has
what you
seen all of
said,
Egypt.
it was in defense of the Bible.
So, fam,
How
let me
you
ask you a
gonna just
question.
make that up? Make that
Hold
be
on.
what you
No,
want it to be.
because it
But
was in defense of the
I'm sitting
Bible.
here telling you, it was
Okay,
about
okay. Let me
Egypt's
ask you this.
record
Let me ask
holding.
you this. Let me ask you this. Do you believe the Red Sea was parted?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know if that happened or not. I wasn't there. I
So
don't
now we're
know.
gonna play that game. We're gonna play that game.
Hey, I'm being honest. How
Okay,
can I
okay,
tell you
okay.
I
Let me
know
ask you this.
something that
Let
I
me ask you
don't
this.
know?
Let me ask y'all this. Let me ask you this. So when Jesus was alive, there must have been a hell of a lot of people bringing people back to earth, bringing people back to life, because we don't even know where the hell he brought someone back to life. It wasn't even like a major event for these people. They just was like, hey,
Oh,
you see that? Jesus brought someone back to life. They didn't think we need to mark this spot. They didn't think we need to put a statue at this spot. They didn't think we need to do something to mark this spot that everyone in the world could find out where Jesus brought someone back to life. Was this shit just happening? Was this every day? Everyone was just bringing people back to life that didn't phase these people?
But, fam, if you read the
So
scriptures, they were
is
they were
Egypt?
destroying
Hold
Wait a
on.
everything
minute.
that
Is
Wait a minute. Y'all
Egypt
mean
the
that Jesus,
only?
Jesus,
they were
Jesus was making
destroying
tables?
everything that
Jesus
put
was
a
a
mark
carpenter.
on.
Hold on, wait a minute, hold on. Jesus was a carpenter. And Jesus, at the same time he was a carpenter, he was bringing people back to life. And he was curing the blind and the sick, and
No,
he
not at
turned
the
water
same
into
time.
wine.
Not at the
Wait,
same time,
hold on,
Nothing.
wait
fam.
a minute. So you don't
Fucking
think, okay,
nothing.
wait a minute. Okay, say little Jesus made a table. Then little Jesus went on to grow up and started curing everybody. Wouldn't
Mm.
I think to save the damn table that little Jesus made so I could say, hey, I got a table that little Jesus made? You know,
Fucking
Jesus the one who's saving everybody.
hell.
Because,
Why didn't they do that?
why do they have to do
Hey,
that?
Because Jesus didn't exist.
Woo!
yeah, he did.
No, he
Bro,
didn't.
He exists.
listen, at the
He
end
Why
of the
is his
day,
name
he
hold on, hold on,
Jesus?
exists.
hold on.
Why is
To
his
be in
name Jesus?
Hold on.
conversation, hold on, to,
Hold on.
hold on.
Hey,
Wait a minute, hold on. The
yeah, he
letter
did.
J didn't even exist. So how's
But
his
that's
name
just
Now
not his
hold
Jesus?
real
on.
name. That's not
You
his
didn't let
Why
real
you
in
didn't
name,
let me
fam.
Mexico the
finish.
letter J is a H? His name in Mexico would be
That was a
Jesus, but
mic
y'all call
That's
him
drop.
not his
Jesus.
real name.
Fuck
That's
You
What's
not
his
didn't
his
let
real
real
me
name?
mic
What's
name.
his
finish.
real
drop.
name? What's his real name?
I don't know, but that's not his real
Oh
name.
my God, you don't. His mama
I'm
Hey,
not
named
gonna
you
Jesus.
lie
didn't
to
I'm
let
you,
me
calling
fam.
finish.
Jesus.
I don't know
His
his
mama
name.
named him Jesus. I'm
I just
calling
believe
Jesus.
that the
That's
Son
what his
is
mama
God,
named him.
son.
His mama
I
named
just
him
believe
Jesus.
it as
That
the
ain't what
Son
his
of
mama
God.
named him.
His mama
That's
named him
what I
Jesus.
did.
I'm calling Jesus.
But that ain't what his mama named him.
How
Hey,
you
but this
know
is the
you
thing.
wasn't there? You wasn't
No,
Hey,
Jesus wasn't the
his
original
mama
name.
named him
They
Heru.
give that name Jesus. Jesus is not the
That's what his
original
mama
name.
named him,
there. Your
No,
Heru.
no,
mama
no.
named me
Or
what?
you may
His
call him
mama
Horus.
never named him Jesus, man.
Heru.
Who?
His mama never
His
named
mama
him
named him
Jesus.
Heru. His mama named him Heru. Or you may call him Horus.
Hey, Root. Hey,
Wait a minute.
hey.
Hold on, my brother.
Now bring it back.
You
Now,
talking
now
about a whole
listen,
different
listen, listen,
story.
listen. Hold on, hold
You
on.
talking
Hey,
about a
Well,
whole
Root.
different
that's
story.
Now
who
drive
Jesus
back from
is.
Heru because
You
So
didn't know
you
somebody
that's
agree
said
who
with
it's
me,
the
Jesus
Jesus?
truth.
was?
So you agree with me?
Heru is the truth.
So you agree
You
with
didn't
me,
know
Heru is
that's
Jesus?
the
who
truth.
Jesus was?
I know
Not
who Jesus. Wait a
evolving
minute,
from that.
hold on,
Let
hold
her
on, wait a minute,
speak.
hold on.
Let her speak. Let her speak. Let her speak. Let her
Let
speak.
me go, wait a minute, hold on.
From Heru.
Wait a minute, hold on. So you don't believe in the Jesus that got crucified on the cross, right? Spiritually
No,
Man,
it's
speaking.
the
if you would
name.
have just
It's the
if you
name,
would have just
fam.
listened to me instead of just, just going in and talking, I'm not no fool. But you wouldn't let me speak. You kept over talking me. You
And
thought
you
I was
kept
one of
trying to
these
defend the
dumb
damn
religious
thing.
people.
Just be real with me,
But
brother.
I'm
Let
not.
her go. That was the
You don't
room.
believe
But
in
The
the
I'm
room.
Bible.
not.
She said the name. She
You
said
don't
the
believe in the
But I'm
Bible,
name.
right?
not.
You don't believe in
She
the
said
Bible,
Huh?
the
right?
Some
name.
of it.
Let him
I
speak. Let him
believe in
speak. Let
some of
spiritual
it.
speak.
Yeah.
Some of it. Where I
Because
can't
you
hear
know,
you.
wait a minute,
You
hold on,
can't hear me. It's
spiritual.
too
Wait a minute,
many people
spiritual.
talking.
Wait a minute, spiritual. You know where that shit came from, right?
Of course I do. I
So
know Christianity. I know Christianity as a whole is nothing but a pagan religion.
they're
That's
stolen
all it
from the
is.
Egyptians, right?
I know it come from before the Egyptians. The Egyptians got everything they got from ancient Babylon. It started there, and then it moved to Egypt, and then it
I don't know
moved to
about that.
everywhere else.
Exactly.
Rome, Greece, all of it is sun worship, moon worship, star worship.
This
That's
is
all
correct.
religion is.
Okay.
That's all it is.
This
All
is
right, we agree.
facts.
We agree.
So we can start with the pagan trinity with Tammuz, Semiramis, and Nimrod, which later on became Osiris, Isis, and Horus. And then it went on to Diana and Zeus and everybody else. I'm not these people, man. I was just trying to make a statement that made sense because a lot of the information that we looking for, we ain't gonna never see because they took it. And that's
Wait a
all
minute,
I
hold
was
on, wait a
stating.
minute, hold on, wait a
It's
minute, hold on,
true.
hold on, wait a minute, hold
But
on,
you got
time out.
it. But you
Wait a minute,
got it.
wait a minute,
You
wait a minute,
just
wait a minute,
said
wait a minute,
it.
wait. Chill out, hype man.
All right, all right,
Chill
all
out.
right, all right, all right, all
We
right,
ain't
all
gonna
right,
battle
all
rap
right.
in a minute. Hold on, you go next. I'm gonna make sure you go next. So why would they leave us the information of Horus and Amun Ra and all of them people, but took the information of there was no damn red flood? It don't make no sense. It
Well,
don't make no sense.
have you
You
ever heard of
dug
the
deep in
Epic
that
of
grave, and you
Gilgamesh?
know you didn't have to dig into her like that deep and shit. You know the mythology of that shit, like really be fucking twisting people up and shit. Let her. You
Make no
gouged
sense
into her.
though. No, his mama named Jesus. I'm calling Jesus.
Hey, I agree with you, but let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. There's a lot of people, man, deceived, and they haven't done
Exactly.
enough research.
You're
Okay.
right.
And they haven't
Fine.
done
All
enough
right.
research. So
Let me ask you a
at that
question.
point, go ahead.
I know
Okay,
you
go
got
on. Go.
next.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. So you
Go ahead.
say there's no information showing that the Red Sea. Let me
Right.
ask you a question. Don't you think God is great enough to part that Red Sea?
You think virgins can have babies?
No, I'm just asking you a
Do you
question.
think virgins can have
Don't you
babies?
think don't you think God is great enough to part that Red Sea?
Do you think virgins can have babies?
All right. You want to go to that? Let's go to that
No,
now.
do you
Let me ask
think
you a
virgins
question.
could
Let me
have
ask you a question.
babies?
Let
That's
me
a
ask you a
fucking
question.
legitimate question from the holy
Do
man.
you believe that God created mankind?
Do I believe God created mankind?
Yeah.
And just
Who,
say
the God
yeah.
of the Bible?
No, listen, it doesn't matter which whatever God you
Fucking
believe in.
yeah.
The one that created
Yeah.
the earth, everything. Do you believe God created mankind?
Nobody's in denial with creation.
No, I'm just
I don't
asking a
think that
question. He
nobody's
wants
in
to know
denial
about the
with
virgin.
creation.
Hold on. He wants to know about the virgin. So I'm going to this question.
I believe
Do you
God can
believe that
do.
God?
I
No.
believe. Wait. Listen. Let me ask a question. I believe God is almighty, all powerful, and can do whatever, anything. But I don't believe God would break his own laws. So no,
What is that?
he didn't get nobody else's wife pregnant.
No, what is that?
Get
The
someone
whole
else's
thing is like this.
No,
It
you
boils
still didn't
back
fornication.
down
answer
to
my
this.
question.
Look, man, that shit's
Do
all
you
bullshit.
Fornication.
believe God can
That shit
create?
is all
Do you believe
bullshit.
God created mankind? No, hold on. Answer the question. Do you believe God created mankind?
Yeah.
So if God can create mankind, why can't he put a baby inside of a woman that never have sex?
Why didn't he do it again?
Because he choose not to.
Why can't he do it again?
So then, if that's
Because
the
it's true. So
case, if
because
that's the
we want
case,
him to prove that to us to believe it, that
But
doesn't
okay,
listen.
wait a minute, hold on. Let
Not
me ask you.
wait,
it's
Let
not
me
wait,
ask you
hold on,
this.
hold on.
let me
Because we
get this.
don't
Okay,
Let me
see
get
it,
that.
all right,
that
hold
doesn't
on.
mean it
Wait.
doesn't
I gotta let
happen.
the real eat. I gotta let the real eat. I ain't let him eat. He got to
Go
eat.
ahead. Let him
Yeah,
go. Let him
Go on,
go.
eat. Go on,
yeah,
get your eat
yeah.
because you've been hyping up everything. Go on, eat.
Go,
Go on,
Let
eat.
me let me
go
let me
ahead.
eat right now. I got to eat at
Let the
this
real
point.
eat.
So
I mean, not the
Fucking
real. I
throw
mean,
in
New
some
Jack.
real
Let New
food,
Jack eat.
Oh,
motherfucker.
New Jack.
Let
Okay,
New
New
Straight
Jack
Jack.
up.
eat.
No, go
I'm
ahead, New
sorry.
Jack.
Let New Jack eat. Go ahead and eat, New Jack.
Straight up. Do you remember the vagina around your neck?
Right now you can because there's video camera. You can see those shit.
Nah, man, not nobody's
No,
like.
no, 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 no,
What
no,
do
no,
you
no, no, no.
mean?
Fam, that's not
Do
even an
you
excuse.
remember? No. Do you remember vagina around your neck?
Bro, you've been asking that vagina question for
Yeah.
so long, man.
You
Nobody can
have, man. You
remember that.
really
See,
been waiting.
that's the real.
You
That's
waited
where
all this
truth
time to
is.
ask that
Nobody
Do you,
question
can.
hey,
again?
Oh
wait,
God, this guy.
wait,
Okay.
Goddamn, man. You waited a long time to ask that
wait.
same
Let me
question.
get the other part in. Let me get the other part in.
Okay.
Okay. Do you believe that a vagina was around your neck when you were brought into this world?
What if you was a C-section, baby?
No. Okay, exactly. Okay. So you came through some shit. A C-section, a vagina around your neck. Do
Hey, what
you
is this?
remember that?
Nobody remembers that.
Do you remember that?
No.
So how the fuck you know that there's some fucking God somewhere?
Because me not remember it doesn't mean it happened. It didn't
No,
happen.
well then give
No,
an
no, 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 no.
example of a God.
Me don't remember
Oh
it
Wait,
doesn't
God.
mean it
stop.
doesn't happen.
Then
That's the
give
whole
an
point.
example of a God. Bring your God to me. Make your God visible and real logical in real life to me.
Bro, me to bring my God to you, if that's what's going to take for you to believe in God, that's your own choice, bro.
No,
Because
that's
at the
what
end of
it's
the day,
gonna take. That's what
no.
it's gonna take.
But that's you. That's you, fam. I
Oh, but
cannot
you
tell you.
got the
Listen,
God. But you
listen. At
got
the
the
end of the
God.
listen, fam.
But
At the,
you got the
no,
God.
hold on,
Let me
hold on,
ask the
hold on, hold on.
question. Let me ask the
No, hold on.
question real quick. Wait, hold on. We're going to leave
No,
that.
No,
Let me
wait.
ask the question.
Fam, listen. At the
No,
end of the
hold
day,
on,
hold
wait,
on, hold on.
hold on. Let me ask
No,
this
hold on.
question,
Listen. At
Marlon.
the end of the day, no,
it's okay to not know. I
no.
don't
But
want you
listen,
to
Marlon,
be
no.
done
But
with
hold on
that.
for a second. Hold on for a second. But at
Listen,
the end of the
bro,
day,
there's
no, fam.
love in not
No.
knowing.
But listen, it's
There's love
okay
in
to
not
not know.
knowing.
You're right. But listen, it's okay to not know. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. I'm not forcing you to believe. I'm not forcing you to believe that he's real.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's your choice. I have my choice, and I
To rather to
respect your
believe
choices.
than not to
I
believe.
respect your opinion.
That's
But at the
okay,
end of
fine.
the
And then
day,
I
fam,
respect yours.
okay, let me ask
And
the
then I
question.
you
respect
Okay,
don't
okay,
yours.
believe in
chill,
it,
chill,
and
chill,
I
chill,
believe
chill,
it's
chill.
different.
Goddamn, get up from the table. Y'all made too much. Let everybody else eat.
Fucking niggas need to eat though.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. And
Y'all
everybody
got
realize
chill.
this whole conversation is love. This whole conversation
That's
is love.
all. Man.
We just kid, clamor, and believe whatever the hell you want to believe.
Motherfuckers
Now, do
been
you
out here,
think
man.
that a good person who doesn't believe in God will get to see the hereafter?
Me, I don't know that. I couldn't tell you that.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you that.
So it's okay to not
I'm not God,
know.
Yeah,
fam.
But
I'm
it's
not
not
God.
okay
I
to
couldn't
not
tell you that.
learn. It's not okay to
I
not
can't be the
learn.
judge of that. But it makes sense if a person is good, living good, and doing righteous among men. I mean, it makes sense. We really don't know what God is. We
But that
don't know
don't
what
Right?
God is.
guarantee, right? Exactly.
It's your
We
That doesn't
know.
guarantee.
beliefs.
I didn't say it guaranteed it. I said I don't know.
It's your
I don't have a
beliefs.
problem with saying I don't know. Only a fool will act like they know everything. I,
Hmm.
I don't know. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to act like I know. I'm going to just say I don't know. I can
Fine.
assume, I can give my opinion on it,
Yeah,
but
that's the
I don't
fine.
know. I don't think none of us know. All we
No.
know is what we've been told or what we've been shown, what we see, and what we feel. Some of us feel God ain't real. Some of us feel God is real. One
Facts.
thing I know about that Bible, I've read it. It got a lot of analogies.
Yes, it does.
It got a lot of examples.
Yeah.
It got a lot of ways to live righteous.
Yeah.
And
Right?
there are some things in there
Okay.
that I've seen that really make sense.
It's a
Principles
Like,
that
blueprint.
I live
people say
by.
religion, that Bible actually go against a lot of the religion when you read it, especially
When you
like Christmas. You
when
read
you
you
really
read the
understand.
book of Jeremiah in the chapter 10.
When
It
you really.
explains how God said, hey man, I don't want y'all to be like the heathens. They go out in the forest, they chop down a tree, they bring it in the house, and they decorate it. Now, the average person just gonna read that and keep going. But somebody who want to know, like me, I read that and then I went to start studying. What that sounds like a Christmas tree. Found out about the evergreen tree. Found out about it being a pagan holiday. Found out about how they were doing it long time ago, and it represent Nimrod and all this other stuff. The story too long. So once I did the research, it made sense why the Bible said, "Don't be like the heathens. They do this." Oh, they really was doing, and we still doing it today. Putting them trees in the house, celebrating the winter solstice.
The information placed right before you in your eyes where you can see it, but you fucking choose to ignore to see it's
Okay,
Now,
much
can
okay,
I say
more.
something?
okay,
Can
okay,
I say something
okay. I'm gonna
now?
make a lot of women mad. I'm gonna make a lot of women mad.
I
Where's
want to say something.
Marlon go? Marlon, get back on the
I'm here,
street.
son. I'm here, son.
All right,
Can
don't
you hear
go
me?
away.
I'm here, son.
Okay, and we're gonna let the real eat too. Now the Bible says that the woman is supposed to be quiet and the man is not supposed. A woman is supposed to learn from her husband, so she's supposed to be quiet. She can't be a minister or a preacher. Do we agree with that?
It say that.
You do say that, right?
It say that.
All
It
right,
did
come on,
say
baby.
that, but hold on, listen. Let's, as I'm saying, put it this way.
All
For me personally, I can't tell you what God said and what God choose
right.
and
Tell
what
me what
God
the
tell you to
Bible
do.
say.
But the Bible, listen, the Bible for me. All right, put it this way. I think the English version of the Bible has been tampered with.
Okay.
So
Of
most of
course it
those things
has.
that we see in the Bible, because these English language and these words, at one point, it was used to enslave black people based on the way you interpret the message.
Marlon took us into another path. Damn, Marlon.
So you see what I'm saying? But for me personally, I believe, you see, what we don't focus, because everything in the Bible is all a story that's happened already.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing that we should be focusing on is God's 10 Commandments and how mankind should live. Everything
Those
that
are
happened in the
facts.
Bible, hold on, everything that happened in the
Those are
Bible
facts.
is stories that tell you what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do.
There's
That's all it is. It's a
42,
blueprint to
42,
mankind.
42 of them. 42.
It's a
Hold on.
Judges,
blueprint
You
to
gotta let him finish.
mankind.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
The 10 Commandments is what mankind should be living by. If we live by God's 10 Commandments, you will see a lot of this destruction on this earth wouldn't be happening.
42 commandments, man.
But wait a
Even
minute,
that,
The
hold on, hold
law
on,
even
wait
of
a
that.
minute,
But
God
what I'm
before I
saying,
wait a
get
minute.
to
Nah,
what I'm
that's
Hold on,
saying
wrong.
is
It's
Marlon,
not
Marlon, you a
42,
certain
Christian?
things
man.
we.
Chill,
So there's
chill,
Marlon,
certain
are
things
chill.
you a
we
chill.
haven't
Christian?
seen. Huh?
Hold on, Marlon, are you a Christian?
32.
No, I don't believe in religion. I just believe in God.
It's not even religion. It's
You
just
don't
like the
believe in
law to
God?
live by.
Yeah.
It's just a law to live by. It has
Oh, wait a
nothing to
minute.
do with fucking religion.
That's not
And
Christian,
that's
Religion.
Frank. Hold up.
I believe religion is a
logical God that's
separation to
going to come
God.
save you.
Wait a minute, New Jack. Wait a minute. You said you didn't believe in God.
Oh,
No, he said he believe in God. He don't
I
believe in
believe in
religion.
God from the day I live and the day I die.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. You just don't
Uh,
believe in religion.
yeah,
No,
okay.
religion is a separation to man from God.
Okay,
Because at
okay.
the end of the
What's that?
day, if
Religion
you,
is what?
it's a
Religion is
If
separation
what?
you
from
stop
God.
being the hype man, you would have heard him.
Because what
Oh, hold
happened
on,
is
man. You gotta chill. You gotta
if you
let the brother
listen to
finish, bro.
if you listen to all these religion that's around, it's all similar. So why is there a separation? Why are we separated? It's the same God. Everyone that basically the only God that mankind would praise that is not God is a sculpture, is an image because it's created by an ex man.
Mm.
Religion is a separation from God. That's what confused all of God people.
Hmm. I
Because we all
agree.
praise, but this is where it come down to now. So because of the religion now, what happened is the Muslim, that's their God. The Christian, that's their God. It's only one God.
And you know this
Listen to
how?
Marlon. Marlon, I agree with that
God
statement.
how? And only one
Don't
God
agree with
how?
half
How
the
do you
other
know
shit
that?
you were saying, but I agree with that. Mhm. I agree with that one.
But that's the way I look
Can,
at it. Because the thing is, at the end of the day,
okay, so
fam,
look, I gotta eat now.
The real one, Steve, he can bring out a damn
Fucking grab
healthy
a
man
bite.
lunchbox.
Like we
Go ahead,
burning
real
meat
Lee.
out here.
I got
You go ahead and eat, New Jack. You've been hyping
okay.
everybody up. So.
I gotta eat. Hopefully, the guy on the bottom won't interrupt every 5 seconds and be a hype
He's
man.
a
Hey,
hype
hype
man.
man, let me land. Let me land just a little bit. So,
Go check
okay,
on
so
my
here's the
page,
thing.
fool.
Now there's something. Now there's something that spiritual said that I definitely want to key in on that a lot of people didn't catch, which is that there is a lot of history and knowledge that has been hidden from the general public.
Agree with
There
that.
was a point in time where I didn't really necessarily adhere to the Bible. Really, I didn't really believe in it. I thought it was a fairy tale. But upon further review, it's a very interesting book, and it's a book that you can't dismiss at least completely. I know, of course, it's a different. There's been many translations and all these other things, but it's a book that you can't dismiss quickly. Here's why I say that. So, in the missing books of the Bible, you have one of them is called the Book of Enoch, and it talks about uh, giants existing on the earth at one particular time, but prior to the flood. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that there's a lot of lost history in the U.S. Now, Abraham Lincoln, along with many other settlers in the New World in America, actually documents them coming across giant beings. As a matter of fact, there have been a lot of archaeological digs that have found giant bones, right? Femur bones the size of me. I'm 6'2". And so, with that being said, there are certain things in the Bible from a historical standpoint that if you really examine and study, it did happen. Now, the host is correct on the fact that if you study Egypt, Egypt doesn't necessarily talk about the Exodus anywhere in its records. But just because it doesn't do that doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't happen. There may have been other records via the Library of Alexandria that have been probably lost and stolen at some point. I know for a fact that Vatican City, there's a library there that has tons of books. Even like I said,
Check that
up
shit out
until
though.
like I said,
Oh,
but
I
hold
agree.
on a second. Let me land just for a second. I'll let you cut in. Even like I said, if you study the early history of the U.S., you'll find that there is reference to giants existing while Abraham Lincoln was president and while the early settlers around the 1500s, when they came, they documented that. But a lot of that documentation, you won't find it because I believe that this documentation was hidden. So, but anyway, go ahead.
Uh, are we talking about giants, right?
Yes.
See
All
this
right.
right here.
So
He
if
right
indeed
too,
these,
cause I done seen it too.
okay, so if indeed these giants did exist, right? Because I've heard the story before and shit, that would be like a scientific phenomenon, right? That would be something that nobody would hide from the world. And shit, I
No, but
mean,
see, I believe that it's been hidden, and I believe it's been hidden for a particular reason. Because if you,
okay,
there's a
the
book,
reason
there's a,
was
there, okay. So I believe strongly that the elite New World Order, whatever you want to call it, I think the way that they control us is via information. So there are certain things that I believe strongly that the people who control this earth can't allow to get out. I think they have to control information. That's why a lot of these texts, you can't even find them. You can, if you even try to Google them, it's very difficult to even Google a lot of this stuff. But I know this for a fact because I'm an avid reader. I love to read. I love to study. I love knowledge.
But wait a minute.
I've been
how
an
would you
avid reader since 9. But
Okay,
huh?
control
okay.
somebody?
Hold
Hold
on,
up, hold
hold
up,
on.
hold up.
Let me put some. I'm gonna let you eat in a minute, New Jack.
All right.
Go
But
ahead.
this is the premise that we believe everything that's put in the book. Like, like books don't lie. This is
Well,
what like people be like. I read it in a book. I read in a book. Yeah, okay. Like they didn't write a lie in a book. Like
no, I hear what you're
you
saying.
have
That's a
any
good point. Let me
proof
respond.
outside of a book. That's
Let,
where
let- let
I'm
me
at. Like
respond to that.
any
Let me
proof
respond.
outside of a book.
That's a very good point that you brought up. You are right. People could write a book and they could lie. But then if we're gonna go there and use that argument, then that means you can't believe any book at all. If we're gonna go
Can't
there,
believe nothing. You
yeah,
can't.
yeah. And so for me, this is the conclusion that I came to. I said, okay, just because you have a book, it doesn't mean that it's valid, but it doesn't mean that it's invalid. That's why, from my perspective, I think we have to test a lot of these things, just like a science would do. I love science too, and with science, what do? They develop a hypothesis, and then
A
what do they do
hypo-
after that?
so based
They
off of that,
test it. They
because
test
listen, man,
their scientific theory to see. Hold on,
let me speak in
hold on
that
a second.
because like I gave him my space to let you speak and shit based upon for the fucking the scientific.
But I
Let's
was just gonna say, I'll pass the mic to you.
okay,
So
go ahead,
just give me a second.
go on,
All I was going to
finish
say
your shit.
was you have a hypothesis and a scientific theory, and then what do scientists do? They test that theory to see if whether or not their idea has merit or not. That's why I believe with books. Yes, you study them and read them, and then we have ways to test them to see if the knowledge is true or not. Go ahead, bro.
Excuse me. Sorry. So, based off of that shit, like we're talking about giants and shit. You said that shit was discovered when? When did we discover giants was on the earth?
Well, it's all throughout history there are different references, but I was
Uh,
speaking in terms
so
of when the early settlers came to the United States
okay.
after 1492.
So with these giants that they discovered, how could they use the discovery of giants to their advantage to make some type of money off of it?
Say that one more time.
How could they use the discovery of these giants in that century and that time point to fucking make some money off of it?
You said why didn't they make money off of it?
How could they make money off of that?
You tell me. I don't know what you're
No,
getting
because
at.
you
I
said that
don't
there's giants.
understand
I'm
either.
trying to listen, dude. I'm like, you said that there were giants. I'm like, okay, I'm interested in giants and shit. So
Yes.
how did they how did the theory of a giant get this far and shit to where we all right understand and know that fuck there was giants that existed during that time
No,
and
no.
shit.
Okay, so the reason why I got to that conclusion is the fact that you have people that early settlers that documented whatever it was that they saw. They saw
Okay,
indigenous people. If they saw indigenous people, what do they do? They say,
so what,
okay, we found these people. They look such and such way. They had these type of crops, and they give sort of a description of what they looked at, and then they observe, and then they report and write stuff down. That's what
so
history is.
so the giant bones that you said that were found, right? Because you said there were some giant bones found, didn't you?
I did say that.
Okay, so where are these bones at now that we could go view them?
Well, see, here's the thing about that. The
Mm.
thing about that is that I remember there was a point where you can easily find this information, but see, you cannot find it with just a simple Google search because
No.
I believe that strongly that a lot of this information is being purposefully hidden.
So
It's why I'm not
something as big as
100% sure.
giants that you know about. So
Huh?
you know about some giants, dude. You as a
Mhm.
common
Let me
What
let,
book did
let
you
me
read
try
it in?
to
That's what he's asking. What book did you read it in?
it's some bullshit. There ain't no book read in that shit. That's just some
So there's
fucking
there's a whole bunch of them. One of them is
ass shit.
Scientific American. Scientific American is the
Ass
foremost
shit.
authority. Are you gonna keep being a hype man right now? Are you gonna let me land? Hold on.
come on,
Let me
dude.
land.
Come on, dude. Let him
Let me
speak.
let me land. Let me land. So Scientific American is a book that's been around since the 1800s. Scientific American is a book that is the most known authority when it comes to science. Now, Scientific American around the late 1800s, early 1900s actually wrote about how giant bones were excavated and found, and they documented a lot of this information in old articles. That stuff is almost impossible to find. You could find it, but you can't just simply Google it. You have to really
Giant.
do your due diligence and dig to find it.
I will
Yes,
fucking hunt
absolutely.
the giant. Let's go hunt the giant tomorrow. Where
Hey,
you want to meet at? Where you want to meet
my
at to
Go
hunt the
question
ahead,
is,
spiritual.
go?
New Jack, New Jack,
I'll buy the tickets to get there. Fuck that. I
New
want to see
Jack,
the giant.
New Jack. My question to you is, are you willing to go do your own research? I mean, if
I'm
you're
willing
gonna deny what this man, hold on. If
big
you're gonna
giant
deny
bones.
what the man is saying, see, that's the problem with people. They want to just sit back and laugh and joke and kiki, but they not willing to get up off their butts and go
Okay.
try to
All right.
find the
All right. All right.
evidence to prove them wrong. Go prove him wrong. Get off your butt. Get off this internet and go dig for about 20 years like I have, researching, reading books, watching documentaries, asking questions. And then if you don't find no evidence to prove him wrong, you might find some evidence that prove him right.
For some
Other than
giants.
that, other than
All
that,
right.
it's ridiculous that people ain't
Listen,
willing to put in the work, but willing to run their mouth, man.
listen, man. I ain't stop tripping.
Put in the
I've been
work.
looking for these giants for a minute and shit. I done heard about these giants. You know what I'm saying? And I know that there's a lot of other people looking for these giants. Fuck that shit. Especially where
Well,
the
let
fuck
me
I'm
ask you
from.
this: have you seen Shaquille O'Neal? Have you
Huh?
seen Yao Ming? And it's some
Yao
people in. It's
Ming.
some people. Hold on. It's some people over in Japan taller than Shaquille O'Neal.
We
8
can't
feet,
Yes.
consider
9
these
feet,
Robert,
10
giants.
feet
Hold
tall.
on,
and let me add to that.
Oh, hold on,
Let
hold
me
on.
let
Let
me
me
let me
finish so you can
let
understand.
me
Let
add
me
to
finish.
that.
Let
Do
me
you
We
know
finish.
who
can't
Robert
Let me
Wadlow
finish.
consider.
is?
Wait, hold
Do you
on,
know?
hold
Let
on,
me
hold
finish.
on.
Do you know? Do you know
Wait,
who Robert Wadlow is? Do you know
Wait
who
a minute.
Robert
Wait.
Wadlow is? Do you know who
Chill.
Robert Wadlow
Wait
is?
a minute. Hold on. Chill. Abraham Lincoln his damn self was 6'5". So a six, if you ain't never, if you 6'5" standing up to a 7-footer, that's not considered a giant.
No, that's it. I wasn't finished. They ain't let me finish. So
Yeah, you can
if you
let's
let
hear
me
it from
finish,
Lance.
hold on. It's some people that's taller than them, right? People taller than Shaq.
Exactly.
Shaq 7 feet tall. And somebody taller than Shaq, 8 feet tall, 9 feet tall. If a man can get 9 feet tall, what makes you think, oh, well, the buck stopped there?
Yeah, Robert Wadlow is 9 feet tall. Nine.
If a
Nine
man
feet
can get
tall.
that tall, what make you think the buck stopped there? To us, that's
It
me
doesn't stop
looking up to
there.
Shaq is like, God damn, that
Than
nigga
him.
huge.
There's men
No,
taller
no,
than
no,
him.
no, no, no. Listen. It's like people saying there's dinosaurs walk the earth. No dinosaurs ever walked the earth because you can't
You're right.
walk the earth. Their bones, they was too heavy to walk the earth. They would kill themselves. And how the hell, we live in a lot of smokes and mirrors. Now, you can't believe everything, or you can choose to pick and choose what you believe and what you don't want to believe. But you can't say something is false over here, and the same people who said that, you say that's false, but you believe them over here. I don't understand how people do that. Like
But I
everything
want
that we know, listen to me, everything that we know, or we think we know, is based on white people. Let's be real about it. It's based on white people because it's white people who wrote these books. Whether they stole them from whoever they stole them from, they interpreted these books. So every time we say, I read a book from this person and that person and this person and that person, we don't know. Everything that we know, we just believe. We don't know.
but
I mean, that's
but
the bottom
technically
line of this.
speaking,
We don't know.
technically technically speaking, the oldest Bible was found in Africa. It's not a European book like you think it is. It's
It is a
just been simply
European book.
translated. Huh?
It's a European book. The
No, no,
Jesus was,
sir.
it's European.
No,
It's not
no, sir.
European. It's
The
Roman.
oldest
You
I
could have
could prove.
found the oldest Bible.
Mm-mm,
They
mm-mm,
made those
mm-mm.
stories. That's the problem. We don't
No,
even know the geographical landcast. Like, fuck, we don't. Do we really know that place is called Africa? Did those people call themselves Africa? Did they call
No,
who?
they didn't. No.
We don't know what that place is called.
No.
Everything we know is based off of what these people want us to know.
but
Everything
check
we
this out though.
read, every book is based off, oh, we're going to release this book and we're going to release that book and this and that. We don't know what's real.
But
You got
technically
some.
speaking, now, like I said, the Bible has been translated numerous times. That is correct. However, if you check out the Gurima Gospels, those are the oldest manuscripts of the Bible found in East Africa, not
How
Europe.
do we know though? I don't see.
Huh?
That's my point. I don't know because I wasn't there. I don't know how the Egyptians lived. I don't know who did this or who did that. Everything I'm saying, everything we know, we're at the mercy of. Do we believe the author who wrote it?
I hear you. You know what? I don't disagree with that. And I was at that point for a very long time. That's why I said, okay, I have to uh, observe, report, and then verify it. I have to study it as much as I can, study the history, read the history, study it, and try to verify it to see if it's true or not. Because you actually are right. It's very difficult
Yeah.
to believe certain things because there's so many different lies. You do have a point there. That is true. That is true.
Hey, let me ask you this, host. And I know we talked about the hieroglyphs. Have you ever noticed that in the Egyptian hieroglyphs there are some huge people outside of the little bitty people? And then even if you go to the carvers in Mesopotamia and all that, on them walls carved in their stone, they do got some carvers of some huge people, then some little bitty people,
Well,
and that's
like
in
you
the stone.
said, Shaq is
That's
considered a huge person.
yeah. But
So they
how they
might
got it
have
carved though? I
7 footers
mean,
back then. It ain't like that's the thing. It ain't like that 7 footers just came to existence when we was born. They've been around.
yeah.
Everything been around. But my point is, like, everything is being interpreted to us. We don't really have a real starting point because we don't even know that those walls say what they say. Because unless the Egyptians, who are not even the real Egyptians, have a history of passing down stories to generation, we don't know what them damn walls say. All we know is some white scientist went over there, well, whatever country they was from, and said, this is what the walls say.
I
You
hear what you're
right.
saying, bro. I hear what you're saying. I
You
don't
right.
disagree with you, but I want to add something just real quick before I let spiritual climate chime in. I
Go
think
ahead.
like I approach life like a detective. I think that there is the devil in the details, meaning that if we, like I said, do our due diligence and study, we can find clues. And then, just like any detective, what happens? They go and investigate.
Don't
They
get on her
call out
saying
witnesses.
anything.
They ask questions, and they investigate to do their due diligence in order to figure out the culprit of who perpetrated the crime.
What the
I think
fuck, man?
I think there's enough clues in there to where we can kind of ascertain and figure out what's true and what's not. But we have to do our due diligence in the research. I think a lot of people, for the most part, unfortunately, are very lazy, and so they're in a state of total darkness, knowledge wise, because of the fact that most people are not willing to do what it takes to be able to do the due diligence. Because there's a scripture, it says, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free," and it also says that our people perish for lack of wisdom. And I think the
Fucking,
reason why people suffer worldwide is
fucking
because
A.
they lack a lot of knowledge. And I think
Fucking
in
A.
order for us to be free, I think we have to get ultimately knowledge. I think knowledge will put
Dude.
us in a better position to where we could be successful and learn about our environment around us. And then at that point, we can start making intelligent decisions to be able to be successful. Because you mentioned something earlier, host. You talked about the idea of leveling up, right? What does leveling up mean? Leveling up, like one of my favorite video games was Final Fantasy, right? It was my favorite video game, and in that you level up. But how do you level up? You level up by getting into certain battles, right? And those battles will give you what they call EXP points or experience points, and those experience points will help you go to a higher level. And once you get to a higher level, what happens? You gain new knowledge, new wisdom, new powers and abilities, and new experience. I think the way for us to level up is by gaining knowledge. And through that knowledge, we gain experience. And then through experience and knowledge, we gain more skills. And then we can use those skills to be able to improve the quality of our life. That's what leveling up to me means. But before we get to that point, I think knowledge is key. We have to study hard. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I would
Oh,
say this. The Quran says, and like both the Bible and the Quran, they have good advice in them because they was written by man. Man gives out good advice. But one thing the Quran says is you argue over things you know about. Why do you argue about things you don't know about? And I think when it comes to knowledge and understanding, the first knowledge you should get, and I'm not disagreeing with anybody who wants to study history. I'm not disagreeing with you. Do what you want to do with your life. But the first knowledge that anyone should get is the knowledge that's going to help them improve their daily life. Now, knowing about Egypt is going to help you improve your daily life, knowing that black people are the original Jews, if that's going to help you, by God, by all means, do that. But the first knowledge that sometimes we miss is the knowledge that's going to improve our future and our present. We so stuck in the past, worrying about stuff in the past, that we forget about our future and our present. And you talk to a lot of people, and they so busy worried about proving the past that they forget to improve the present and the future. And especially for black people, we love to live in the past. Our whole existence
very
is the
true.
past.
Very
So,
true. Yep.
the leveling up part is first get knowledge that's going to help advance the community. Like some people say, we got to know history. You got to know history. But it seems like we spend too much time knowing history and not knowing the past, nor not knowing the present and the future. So when it comes to leveling up, I guess what we was talking about as men, we should start talking about what we need to do to make better men instead of
Facts.
sitting around blaming women and blaming the white man. As black men, we need to talk about how can we improve ourselves instead of, blaming the system. It's like, okay, you can't control the system, but what can you do to control yourself to make yourself a better person? That's what we
I
talk
got
about.
I,
Left.
I gotta let the host end it there. I love that message, bro. I agree with you. We gotta find ways to make ourselves better. I appreciate y'all having me on, man. If you'll be on later, I'll be on. I'm just gonna go run some errands, man.
No,
God
no,
bless
no, no.
y'all.
I'm not one of them people who be on this damn thing all day. I
Okay.
appreciate both of y'all, but you ain't gonna turn on 2 in the morning and see me on this damn thing. I've seen people like that, but that ain't gonna be me. All right,
Yeah.
spiritual. No. I hope it wasn't no disrespect to it. It was all fun, man.
Oh no, man, ain't never no disrespect, man. Nobody was angry with each other. Nobody was cursing each other out, man. I mean, we black, man. We all we got. We may
Right.
disagree on things. We may not all believe the same things. But one thing for sure is we all got the same enemy.
That's
It,
real.
we all got the same enemy. We need to, focus on that. And we got a lot of people that don't like us. I never
Right. That's
try to
true.
force my opinion or my beliefs on anyone. I just try to share what I've come across within my
Right.
studies. And if they can
Right.
believe it, they don't have to believe it. But all I ask is that they look at it for themselves. Don't believe what I'm saying. Go look at it for yourself. And when you see it for yourself, then you get to determine if it's BS or if you don't want to believe it, but just look at it for yourself.
That's real.
That's it. That's
That's
the only
real.
thing I do.
That's real,
And
bro.
it's my second time on one of your lives. I saw you. Well, I think I was here yesterday, day before yesterday. You got some good topics, man. I'm always try to come in, say a little bit, and
I
enjoy the
appreciate
company.
it. Too. I appreciate the
Enjoy the company.
support, bro. All right, brother.
I'm
You
gonna
have a good one.
you too. Hey man, I'm gonna tag you in something too on my page.
Okay.
I want you to see it about some dinosaurs.
Okay.
All right,
Okay. Then I'll befriend you. I'm gonna befriend you real quick.
all right,
All right.
all right. Have a good one.
You too. I followed you. Okay.
All right.
All right.